Alright guys, so in this video we're going to move crypto from an exchange, from a exchange over to our WebAuth wallet. And I'm going to use crypto.com. You can use any exchange that you want to use. I will show you the steps. You just apply them to whichever exchange that you like to use. My favorite is crypto.com. I've used Binance, I've used Coinbase, all these different exchanges. It's just that my favorite happens to be crypto.com. Now, if you take a look over here at USD coin, right now I've got 194.93 USD in my account. I pulled that from my bank account into this app. That video will be coming up next on the Growing Awareness YouTube channel. But I want to start with the exchange because a lot of people have crypto on an exchange and they want to move it over to their WebAuth wallet. So let me pull up my phone and bring it up here for you guys, and we're going to click on the crypto.com app and let it come up. Let's go back over here. Okay, so where you're going to start is on your WebAuth wallet. Okay, and you want to go to the coin, whatever coin, it doesn't matter. If you want to move in Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple or any of the other ones, go to the coin that you want to move into your WebAuth wallet from the exchange. So I'm going to move some USD coin, so I need to click on USD coin. Okay, let me do that. And when I do that, we've got the buy option, receive, and send. We want to receive it because we're trying to pull it off of an exchange. So if I click on receive, we've got the XPR network, which we're not going to use. We'll use the XPR network when you're moving it from a WebAuth wallet to a WebAuth wallet. Alright, if you have your USDC on an Ethereum exchange, you'll have to go through the identification process, if you haven't already, in order to be able to move that off of that exchange over to your WebAuth wallet. So to get started, like, I won't be able to click Stellar, which is the one that I need to use in order to become be able to move it over from the exchange. So in order to be able to use the Stellar, I have to go to the Ethereum tab. The Ethereum tab is what is going to allow us to KYC. Without KYC, without Know Your Customer, you cannot do very much at all on the WebAuth wallet because it is KYC compliant. Alright, so let's start that process. We click here. Now understand, I am on my desktop. You can do this on your mobile device or any device, it does not matter. When you go through this process, it's going to have you move over to your mobile device in order to do the KYC process. Alright, so we'll start the process. That's going to bring us here. We're going to connect the WebAuth wallet. In my case, I'm going to use the browser. If you're on a mobile device, you'll use your mobile. If you're on the desktop, if you have a desktop version of the mobile app, of the WebAuth wallet, then you use desktop. Okay, I'm going to use browser because I'm using a browser and I'm on a desktop. Alright, but you pick which one's your situation. So I'm going to go browser. It'll pull up the WebAuth wallet, ask for authorize the use of this my wallet on the identity.metallicus.com website. So we have to authorize that. Now that you have authorized it, it wants you to authenticate. Authenticate is the KYC process. So let's KYC it. Let's authenticate it. We're going to sign the transaction. You use your YubiKey, your face, your PIN, whichever one you got to use depending on what device you're on. Now it wants your home address, so I'm going to have to cover this up because this is private information. And then your address should pop up and you'll click on it. If you have an address line too, that you would fill in this part right here. And then if you click this, it will display your full legal name on chain for visual checkmark. So that's up to you. You decide if you want to use that or not. I'm not going to use it. I never use it. It will just put the display name, the public name that you chose when you created your wallet. So I'm not going to click it on this wallet. You can if you want to. So click continue. Now it gives you the barcode to put into your phone. And at this point, you got to take your phone, and everything else will be done on your phone. So take your camera. Hold on, let me pull up my phone for you guys. Alright, well, let's pull the phone up and just put it right here so you can see what I'm doing. So you can see I'm on the camera. And then I'm going to scan that barcode right there. I mean that QR code. And then I'm going to click on that. Now that, well, let me see if I can pull this up a little higher for you guys. Okay, so right there it is. I'm going to click on that button. Now it wants you go ahead and click on get started. This is biometric processing. I consent to capture, collection, enrollment, use, retention, processing, and disclosure of a scan of my face geometry, face print, and information derived from the barcode of the identification card provided as follow. So you are going through the actual KYC process. You'll need to put in your address, all the stuff. That includes your social security number, everything. And then once you have done this, you have been verified. From this point on, you never have to provide another document to anybody at any time because you have a digital identity and you are verified digital identity. Okay? But in order to continue, there's a little box right here that for whatever reason on the screen is hard to see, but you're going to put a check mark there and that'll give you the continue screen, so you'll click that. Now you're going there, they want to know, do you want to use a passport or a driver's license? In my case, I'm going to be using a driver's license. Now it wants you to hold the ID in the palm of your hand. And clearly I will need to block all of this out for you guys, but I will hit continue and then hold my ID there. I'm ready to scan. You have to give it access, and then you just move your ID until you get it where it wants it. It'll check it. Okay, we were successful, so now we flip the ID card over and then we continue. And again, you'll have to hold it until then it'll do the inspection. If it likes it, then it will allow it to succeed. And then you have to do the face verify. Okay, now you're just going to check your information, make sure everything is correct. Now it will do a face scan. So I'll have to take my headsets off for this and I will blur it out. And of course, user already exists for me, but if this is your first time, verification is complete. Your verification will now be reviewed. Your service provider may contact you if they require further information. Within the next 15 minutes to 24 hours, you'll get an email letting you know that everything has been completed. So now you can go back to your WebAuth wallet. Let me get rid of this. Oh. So you may skip these questions, but loan and fiat features will remain locked. Okay, so if you don't go through the KYC process, you won't be able to move money from an exchange, and you won't be able to use the loan or bridge or any of the other functions that are in the DeFi ecosystem. So let's go back to the WebAuth wallet, and this is where we were. Remember, you have to go over here to Ethereum to start the KYC process. So let's back out of all of this, hit cancel. Let me get out of this, and then let's see. So right now we do not have a verified account. Remember, if you come here and we go back to my other account, you can see that I have this check mark. This check mark tells you that you are verified. So going back to the TGA account, you can see I do not have a check mark. we have to wait for verification to complete. Since we do want to be completely KYC, we come back over to this tab here, and then we're going to enter in our social security number. I will have to blur this out. Okay, after you put that in, go ahead and click on submit. Just never on that. Verification is pending. Your identity has been verified. So for me, remember, I was already verified on my other account. So now this account is verified, and you don't see the check mark there. But let's go ahead and go back to Jeremiah, in which we can see the check mark. And then we'll come back into the TGA account, and sure enough, there is our check mark. So now I am verified. So let's go ahead and go back down here to this button here, the home screen at the bottom left corner, and then we can go back to the USD coin, and now we can go back to receive, and this is where we started. Now we have a, let me go ahead and put my pin in, but now we have an actual address for the Ethereum network because we are verified at this point. And for Stellar, I use crypto.com. I like the Stellar network as far as moving USDC over to the WebAuth wallet. So I'm going to use Stellar. But if you use Ethereum, then you're going to copy this address and put it over into your app as the send address, okay? I'm not using Ethereum, but I'm going to show you the steps using Stellar. Now with Stellar, you're going to get an address and a memo, and that memo is required, okay, in order for it to be received on this address. Let me fire up the phone again. And remember, guys, since you guys are not already verified and you're actually going through the verification process, you'll have to wait until you get an email saying that you have been verified. So if your ID was too blurry or something like that, they're going to require you to do it again. But after you've done it properly, you will be verified. And once you are verified, then you'll have access to your addresses, okay? So here I'm going to use the crypto.com website, and what I want to do is I'm going to go down to accounts, which is at the bottom there. If you can see that down there at the bottom, it's accounts. And let me go ahead and turn off all the money and all that so you guys can actually view my screen. So I'm going down to accounts there like I showed you at the bottom. So I'm in my accounts. I'm going to go to the crypto section, and then I'm going to scroll down until I get to USD coin, and I've got what, $1 in there. Our balance is 0. That's because I moved it over. So give me a second and let me deposit some money. Okay, so I went ahead and just put $50 in there. So they're 50.95. Now look over here, we have Stellar as our network. This is our address, this is the memo, and it is required. Now the problem on that I have on my desktop is sometimes it'll cut off the copy button here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this address. Well, actually, let me bring up the phone again. I want to go here to withdraw. I want to withdraw it from my exchange over to my WebAuth wallet, right? So I hit the withdraw button here, and let me bring this up a little bit so you can see. I want to hit that external wallet, which is off the screen. External wallet, you can see it there, but I'm going to click on external wallet, and I've already got my public address right here, so I don't need to copy it. But you can see GAXO07WC, it's all the same, right? All the way to the N6NH. So that's the end of it there. N6NH, okay? It's the same one. And you always, when you're moving money, guys, you always want, this is so important. People screw these things up all the time. When you're moving money, when you first move money for the very first time into your WebAuth wallet, you want to send the smallest amount that you can possibly send, like $1. In case you copied the address wrong, in case you got the memo wrong, in case you have something wrong, right? But here's the important part. Let me just add a wallet just so you can see something. And I'm going to put, if you look down here, I'm going to put it down here on the wallet address. I want you to see something. See, it's giving me the option of using Ethereum, which I could switch over to Ethereum and use Ethereum. Right? I could do that. I like Stellar, but I could use Ethereum. I could use Chronos, but over on the WebAuth wallet, Chronos is not an option for the thing. You got Sol or Solana, right? And then you just keep clicking over. You got all these different chains, right? So I can either, in my WebAuth wallet, I can either use Ethereum, XPR network, which won't work moving it from an exchange, only WebAuth wallet to WebAuth wallet. I can use Ethereum or Stellar. So I would choose Stellar, and then after choosing Stellar, then you put in your wallet address right here, and you put in the memo. And then you put a wallet name, and then you continue in order to save the wallet. On crypto.com, that's how you do it, okay? Your exchange may be different. Let's get out of this. And get out of this. As you can see, here's my wallet address. And the memo, then at the end, it has the memo. And I have to verify that my memo is correct. And as you can see, that memo is not the same as the memo that I have stored in my wallet. Every now and then, WebAuth Wallet will change up the address or the memo. So you always have to verify that it is the same. So now this wallet, this WebAuth Wallet is no. If I send money to this WebAuth Wallet, it is not going to go to my account anymore. So I'm going to delete this one. And I'm going to create a new one. Wallet address, and again we're going to go over to Stellar Lumens because that's what I'm going to use. Now I'm going to bring up my WebAuth wallet. Let me blur the screen for a second. Bring up my WebAuth wallet because I can't copy it over here on my desktop. Okay, and I want to go down to USD coin. Well, let me get in the right account. Okay, so I want to receive, and then we're going to click over there on the Stellar, and I'm going to copy that address. Then I'm going to go back to the crypto.com. I'm going to paste it by long hold and paste. I'm going to put in the new memo. So we go back over here, we copy the memo. Then we go back over here and we're going to paste it. And we're going to give it a name. And hit continue. It's going to ask me if I'm sure about this. Do I trust it? Yes, I do. It's going to do a Face ID. Processing all that for a second. So now I just need to verify that this is the same. So we got the GAX, the whole thing right there, blah, blah, blah. That's good. Now we're going to check the memo. Memo is good. But since this is a new one, I'm going to click on this one. It's going to ask if I trust it and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to confirm. Now, this one's new, right? I just reset this up. So I'm going to send as little as I can send. And I'm not going to put a note. Alright, we can, but I'm not going to. And then I'm going to hit withdraw. Sorry, please correct the amount. The minimum is 2 USDC. So I hit OK. Then I have to test it with 2. Hit withdraw. 2 USD. Oh, let's do 3. Okay, so once this sends through, hit confirm. Let me push this up for you. See that confirm button? Confirm. Needs Face ID. So let me just do that real quick. Alright, now this is going to go ahead and send it. Withdrawal request submitted. Now remember the process. It's going to the contract is going to take that money that's coming in, that I'm receiving onto my WebAuth wallet, it is going to lock it up on the chain, which in this case will be Stellar, and then it's going to wrap it, and then it's going to put it into my, let's use this back button right here. Then it's going to wrap it and turn it into XUSDC. Alright, now this process of locking it up on the original chain and then putting it into the custodial wallet of Fireblocks, which is an institutional custodial, and then wrapping it and creating the XUSDC can take anywhere from literally 5 minutes all the way up to 30-40 minutes, and that's not a joke. That's real. That's the wrapping process. Everything else on chain on the WebAuth wallet is very fast, but the wrapping process, that contracting process, that moving it, locking it up on the original exchange and creating the XUSDC can take some time. Just be aware of that. Don't freak out, but this is why we send a small amount first to verify, then we send the full amount. Alright, so let me pause this. As you can see, the only payout I have is from Metal Payouts, which is the next video that you guys are going to get on YouTube, showing you how to move it from your bank account into your WebAuth wallet. Alright, let me pause it until this shows up. Again, this can be 5 minutes to 20, 25, 40 minutes. Not joking. Everything else on chain is fast. Okay, so don't freak out if it don't show up 10 minutes later or 15 minutes later. You don't freak out. It is coming. Got to be patient. As long as you put in the right address and the right memo. Once you test it, you can send a larger amount. But always, 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 guys, verify in your exchange app that your memo and your wallet address are correct, because these do change from time to time. Okay, very, very important. Now, there was a time that they changed I didn't have this GAX one, and I didn't realize that they had changed it, and I sent over 100, like 300 USD over to my WebAuth wallet on the wrong address because they changed it, and I thought I had lost that money forever. But the reality is, about a month later, it showed up in my account anyways. So this is part of Metallicus. They are compliant. They have to account for where all that money went, right? So if it's showing up in my old address, they have to move it over to my new address. But that is no excuse for you to. They could slip up. They could somehow oversee it, not see it, or whatever, and it remains on that old address, and you lose it forever. But I'm saying, because of the compliance, 1 month later I ended up getting it anyway. Just my point is this: always verify that your address and your memo are correct. Or if you're using Ethereum, just your Ethereum address, make sure it is correct before you actually send it from the exchange to your WebAuth wallet. Always verify the address, or the address and the memo. Or you could be waiting a very, very long time, like months, to get that money. Okay? Always verify it. But anyways, we're going to wait, and I'll be back when this is wrapped and actually XUSDC here on my WebAuth wallet, so you can see that it did go through. Alright, so you can see it has been bridged over. Okay, bridging means that it has been locked up on the original chain and has been converted, or the XUSDC has been created. Alright, now if I want to send it back to the exchange, you go to Send, Stellar, and then you'll put in the address that your exchange gives you. Then you'll send it back to your account. We're not going to do that because I want to be able to use all this. So I'm going to go hit the back button. But as you can see, it has been bridged over, right? So when it bridges, it turns it into, it wraps it, it locks it up on the original exchange, and then it will create XUSDC. It'll literally create it, and then you can use it. And if you ever move it back over to the exchange, it will destroy the XUSDC, and it will unlock it back over on the chain. Okay, it's a very simple process. Again, it can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 25, 30, 40, 50 minutes to get it wrapped and put onto your WebAuth wallet. Okay, this is a long process sometimes, especially if there's a lot of network traffic. But everything else on the WebAuth wallet and the Metallicus ecosystem is very, very quick. It's just this locking it up, having it custodied by Fireblocks, and then having it create the X version of it and put it into your WebAuth wallet can take a period of time. But once you have it on the WebAuth wallet, everything goes very, very quickly. Alright guys, so that's it. Get in the Word, stay in the Word, get the Word in you. Best thing you could possibly do in your life, and we will catch you in the next video.